Hello students, in the last video we have discussed about the methods of preparation of aldehydes. In this video we will discuss the methods of preparation of ketones. So there are three methods of preparation for ketones. The first one is from acid chlorides. Acid chlorides on reaction with dialkyl cadmium gives ketone. Okay, so acid chlorides on reaction with dialkyl cadmium, it gives ketone. Acid chloride is represented as RCOCl. Correct? So acid chloride or acyl chloride on reaction with dialkyl cadmium, which is represented generally like this. Okay, so it may be same or different too. So this undergoes reaction in presence of or in the ether medium, in the dry ether medium. So we are getting ketone as a product. Okay, so this is the reaction. Here this R group may be same or it may be different. Understood? So acid chloride or acyl chloride on reaction with dialkyl cadmium in an ether medium results in the formation of ketone. So for here this dialkyl cadmium is prepared from Grignard reagent. Okay, so how it is prepared? Grignard reagent is represented as RmGx. When this is treated with cadmium chloride, this undergoes reaction in the ether medium so that there is a formation of dialkyl cadmium. Dialkyl cadmium is formed by the reaction between Grignard reagent and cadmium chloride. So this is how we get the dialkyl cadmium. This is used in the preparation of ketones from acyl chloride. We can directly use this Grignard reagent here. What happens if we use directly Grignard reagent instead of taking the dialkyl cadmium? If we use directly Grignard reagent with the acid chloride, it results in the formation of alcohols. So that's why we are preparing dialkyl cadmium whose reactivity is less than that of Grignard reagent so that we get the ketone. If we use Grignard reagent, it is highly reactive compared to this one. So that's why it results in the formation of alcohol. Okay. So we'll write an example for this now. In place of R, we can take any alkyl or aryl group. Acetyl chloride on reaction with diethyl cadmium. If I take C2H5 in place of R, diethyl cadmium in ether medium results in the formation of C2H5. Okay, so you can write it as CH2CH3 or C2H5. Okay, so butane 2-O formed as a product and cadmium dichloride will be the byproduct. Okay, so this is how we can prepare aliphatic or aromatic ketones depending upon the reagents used. This is the first method of preparation of ketone. The second method is from nitrides. So nitrides on reaction with Grignard reagent results in the formation of ketones. Here the addition reaction takes place. In the first step there is a formation of an addition product which on acid hydrolysis results in the formation of ketone. Okay, so I'll write the reaction here. What is the reaction? Nitrides on reaction with Grignard reagent gives an intermediate addition product which on hydrolysis gives which on acid hydrolysis gives ketones. Which on acid hydrolysis gives ketone. Okay, so one example we write here. If I take methyl nitride, okay, this is treated with CH3MgBr. This is methyl magnesium bromide. It is a Grignard reagent and this is R-nitride. So here carbon and nitrogen, this is having triple bond. So as nitrogen is more electronegative, it draws electrons towards itself and this gets partially negative charge and this will be partially positively charged. And in the Grignard reagent, the polarity is in this way, right? So this is having, this is a carbon ion which is generated in the Grignard reagent, okay? So this goes and attacks the carbon which carries the positive charge. So the CH3 group goes and attaches to the carbon and triple bond is converted to double bond and nitrogen is connected with the MgBr part. So you are getting the intermediate addition product of this manner. CH3, carbon is now getting attached with the CH3 group. Carbon triple bond nitrogen is converted to carbon double bond nitrogen and nitrogen is partially negatively charged which is connected by the MgBr. Okay, so like this we get the intermediate addition product which is unstable. Okay, so this undergoes acid hydrolysis. This we don't require. We require here the ketone. So what we have to do? We have to do the acid hydrolysis. So on acid hydrolysis, there is a formation of ketone. So we are taking here propanone as a product. And these are the byproducts formed. Okay, we get propanone as a ketone, main product, and ammonia and other is the byproduct. So this is how the reaction takes place. So we have to change these reagents, the alkyl group, depending upon that we get either aliphatic ketone or aromatic ketone. If I take here, instead of CH3, if I take here C2H5, we will be having C2H5 in this place. So you will be getting butane 2O. Okay. Similarly, if I consider the second example here, I take ethyl nitride, which is written as CH3CH2Cn, which is treated with the Grignard reagent phenyl magnesium bromide. So if this is the reaction, so what ketone we get as a product? See here again the shift is in this manner as we have already seen. So the addition product is formed by the addition of Grignard reagent across this nitrile group. So there is a formation of CH3, CH2, C triple bond N, C double bond N, MgBr, and this carbon is connected with phenyl ring. Okay, so C6H5. Now this is the addition product formed which on further hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis, results in the formation of ketone. See here which ketone we'll get here, CH3, CH2, C double bond O, C6H5, and the remaining are the byproducts. So this is how the reaction takes place. So we are getting here aromatic ketone, that is 1-phenyl propiophenone we are getting as a product. So this is the method of preparation of ketones by nitrites. The third method of preparation is from benzene or substituted benzene. So this you have already studied. It's a named reaction, Friedel-Crafts reaction, Friedel-Crafts acylation, where we are inserting the acyl group in the benzene ring. Okay, so the reaction is benzene or substituted benzenes are treated with benzene or substituted benzene is treated with acid chloride or acyl chloride or acidic anhydrides, acid chloride or acidic anhydride in presence of anhydrous aluminium chloride gives acylated benzene. Acylated benzene, that is acyl group is introduced. Acyl group is nothing but this RCO group. group. Okay, so this group is inserted in the ring. Okay, that is called as acylation. And here write an example. If I take here benzene treated with RCOCl, this R group may be an aliphatic alkyl group or the aryl group. So this in presence of anhydrous aluminium chloride, the electrophilic substitution reaction takes place. So there is a formation of one of the hydrogen is replaced by the acyl group. So we are getting here acylated benzene. Okay, if I take a particular example, in place of R, if I have here CH3 group, then the product will be C6H5COCH3. Acetophenone will be the product. So this is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation, one of the method for the preparation of aromatic ketones. Aliphatic ketones are not prepared by this, as it's an electrophilic substitution reaction. Aromatic ketones are prepared by using Friedel-Crafts acylation. So these are the three methods of preparation of ketones. Now let us study some of the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. The first one is state of the aldehydes and ketones. The lower members of aldehydes are existing in the gaseous state or in the liquid state at room temperature. For example, methanol is present in the gaseous state at room temperature, whereas ethanol is present in the liquid state. Okay, ethanol is a volatile liquid at room temperature. Okay, it is a liquid which is having less boiling point. And the remaining aldehydes and ketones are existing in the liquid and the solid state at room temperature. The second physical property is boiling point. So the boiling point, as you know, it is a temperature at which the vapor pressure becomes equals to the atmospheric pressure, or simply the liquid turns to the gaseous state. That temperature is known as boiling point. So the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones is more than the hydrocarbon and ethers of comparable molecular masses. That means when we compare the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones with the hydrocarbon and ethers of comparable molecular mass, similar molecular mass. ಈಗ aldehydes and ketones ಯಾವುದಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ aldehyde ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು molecular mass ಇದೆ, similar molecular mass ಇರುವಂತ hydrocarbon ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ethers ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, they are having the aldehydes and ketones are having more boiling point, and that is because of the intermolecular association present in case of aldehydes and ketones due to dipole-dipole interaction. In case of aldehydes and ketones, we will be having carbonyl group, which is a polar group. So here there is a polarity in the molecule in this manner. This is more electronegative, carries partial negative charge, and the carbonyl carbon carries partial positive charge. So such many number of carbonyl group compounds will be present in the single mixture, in the single system. So there exists a dipole-dipole interaction, and this interaction results in the molecular association, which is responsible for the increase in the boiling point, which is absent in case of hydrocarbons and ethers. This is one thing. And if you compare the aldehydes and ketones with the alcohol and carboxylic acid, if we compare with the alcohols and carboxylic acids of comparable molecular mass, if we compare the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones with the alcohols and carboxylic acids of comparable molecular mass, alcohols and carboxylic acids will be having more boiling point. Aldehydes and ketones will be having less boiling point, and that is because in case of alcohols and carboxylic acid, there exists a strong hydrogen bonding, which is not present in case of aldehydes and ketones. Here just the dipole-dipole interaction is present. That's why they are having lower boiling point compared to the alcohols and carboxylic acids of comparable molecular masses. Clear? I'll repeat. The boiling point of aldehydes and ketones is more than that of hydrocarbons and ethers of comparable molecular mass due to dipole-dipole interaction. There is a molecular association arising due to the dipole-dipole interaction. Whereas the aldehydes and ketones are having lower boiling point compared to the alcohols and carboxylic acid of comparable molecular mass due to the absence of strong hydrogen bonding. So this is about the boiling point. The third physical property is solubility. Aldehydes and ketones. The lower aldehydes and ketones are showing solubility in water in all proportions like methanol, ethanol, propanol. These are showing solubility in water due to the presence of hydrogen bonding. It can form hydrogen bond with the water molecule. If I consider this is a carbonyl compound, it is having capacity to form hydrogen bond with the water molecule. So, because of this capacity, you can tell that it shows solubility or it is dissolving in the water medium. Okay. So, this is how it shows the solubility. And here, this is possible, or this affinity between water and the aldehyde or ketone is possible only when there is a small group present attached to the carbonyl group. If smaller groups are present attached to the, if they are present in that aldehyde or a ketone, then only it is having the affinity. If the number of carbon atom is increased in the alkyl group, or as it becomes bigger, the hydrophobic character increases, so the affinity to form hydrogen bonding will reduce. So the lower members like methanol, ethanol, propanol, they are soluble in water, whereas higher members are insoluble in water. As the alkyl group increases, the size of alkyl group increases, the affinity with the water molecule decreases. The affinity to form hydrogen bonding will decrease. So the solubility decreases. And but they are soluble. The higher members are soluble in organic solvents like benzene, ether, alcohol. In that they are soluble. As they are organic compounds, they are soluble in organic solvents. So these are the three main physical properties which are mentioned. First one is state, second boiling point, third is solubility. Now let us move to the next concept, that is chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones are very reactive compounds because of the sister group, that is carbonyl group. It is highly reactive, and aldehydes and ketones, most of the reactions of aldehydes and ketones are common. Okay, you know that, right? So oxygen being more electronegative withdraws electrons towards itself, and carbonyl carbon becomes electron deficient, and because of this polarity it is highly reactive functional group compared to the other functional group. This is highly reactive functional group. Okay, and even in case of aldehydes, when we compare aldehyde and ketone, aldehydes are more reactive. Why aldehydes are more reactive? Because of the presence of the main difference between aldehyde and a ketone is, this is a ketone and this one is the aldehyde. Here the carbonyl carbon is having hydrogen atom, right? So because of the presence of this hydrogen atom only, aldehyde is more reactive than that of ketone. Okay, so we'll discuss it later. Let us see what are the reactions which aldehydes and ketones undergo. So we can categorize the reactions in following methods. The first type of reaction which aldehydes and ketones undergoes is nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction. Just to simplify the study, we are classifying it. Nucleophilic addition reaction. The second one is nucleophilic addition reaction followed by elimination of water. Nucleophilic addition reaction followed by elimination of water molecule. Elimination of water molecule. Okay, this is the second type of reaction. The third type of reaction which aldehydes and ketones undergoes is reduction, then oxidation. The next category is, there are some reactions, as I said earlier, there are some reactions which aldehydes and ketones show because of the presence of alpha hydrogen. Okay, so the reactions due to alpha hydrogen, the hydrogen next to the carbonyl carbon reactions due to alpha hydrogen. The alpha hydrogen means hydrogen connected with the next carbon. This is considered as a alpha carbon. Okay, the carbon attached to the functional group is alpha carbon, and the hydrogen attached to this carbon is considered as alpha hydrogen. So there are some reactions which are shown by aldehydes and ketones because of the presence of alpha hydrogen. And sixth is some other reactions which are not included in these categories. Such reactions also we'll study later. So other reactions, miscellaneous reactions. So these are the different types of reactions which aldehydes and ketones undergoes. We'll study one by one about these in detail. The first type of chemical reaction which aldehydes and ketones undergoes is nucleophilic addition reactions. In case of alkenes, we have discussed the electrophilic addition reaction. The addition reaction takes place whenever there is an unsaturation. Even here in aldehyde and ketone, we have unsaturation, that is a doubly bonded oxygen is present. But here, instead of electrophilic substitution, the nucleophilic substitution takes place because of the polarity in the molecule. As oxygen is more electronegative, withdraws electrons, carries partial negative charge, and this carbonyl carbon carries partial positive charge. Because of this, this is the electrophilic center generated in the carbonyl compounds, and because of that the nucleophile attacks this electrophilic center. Electrophilic center means deficiency of electrons. Okay, carbonyl carbon is having less electron density. Electron density ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫೈಲ್ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, extra electrons, it will be rich in electrons, so it comes and attacks the carbonyl carbon. So as this attacks first and later the attack takes place towards at the oxygen, so it ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, nucleophilic addition ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. The molecule ಅದೇನ್ atoms groups ಇರುತ್ತೆ, it is added across the double bond, addition ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, but the nucleophile attacks first to the carbonyl carbon as it is electron deficient. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, carbonyl compounds are undergoing nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction, there are mainly 3 steps. In 3 steps the reaction takes place. See, in the first step what happens, the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon. The nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon from approximately perpendicular position of the carbonyl group. The carbonyl functional group is present in one plane. So from the approximately perpendicular position, exactly perpendicular position anta helala, approximately 90 degree angle alli the nucleophile comes and attacks the carbonyl carbon. So when that carbonyl carbon is attacked by the nucleophile, initially the hybridization state of carbonyl carbon is sp2. So ಯಾವಾಗ nucleophile ಬಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆವಾಗ another bond is formed because there is a complete transfer of electron takes place from this pi bond. The complete transfer of pi electrons takes place towards oxygen. So carbon double bond oxygen ಹೋಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, carbon single bond oxygen ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, and nucleophile forms a bond with the carbon. That's why the fourth bond is formed. So it forms the sp3 hybridized carbon. ಅಲ್ಲಿ formation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, sp3 hybridized carbon is formed, and that is giving the tetrahedral intermediate. So when the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon from the perpendicular position, there is a formation of a tetrahedral intermediate. There is a formation of tetrahedral intermediate because of the complete transfer of pi electrons towards oxygen. So sp2 hybridized state is converted to sp3 hybridized state. So whatever the intermediate is formed, it is not yet stable. There is a charge, negative charge will be there still on the oxygen, which is neutralized by accepting the proton. So that takes place in the third stage. That is, it accepts a proton, the tetrahedral intermediate accepts a proton either from the solvent medium or from the reagent, so that the stable compound is formed, stable final compound is formed. So this is how the nucleophilic addition reaction takes place. To show schematically how we can express it, see here, if I place a planar molecule, right? Carbonyl compounds will be they are present in the planar, in a single plane. Okay, if I consider this is our compound, here we'll be having, it is connected to the alkyl group or it may be a hydrogen, any group. So this is sp2 hybridized carbonyl carbon. This oxygen being more electronegative withdraws electron, gets partial negative charge, and this carbonyl carbon becomes partially positively charged. The electron density is reduced at this carbonyl carbon. So what happens? Now the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon from approximately perpendicular position. Okay, so when the nucleophile comes and attacks this carbonyl carbon, what happens? The fourth bond is formed, as already electrons are shifted here. Carbon oxygen double bond is converted to carbon oxygen single bond. One extra bond is formed with the nucleophile, so that is shown like this. This is the the plane in which we have our carbonyl compound. So oxygen will be having negative charge, and we will be having AB groups, and the fourth bond is formed between the nucleophile and the carbon. So this is sp2 hybridized carbonyl carbon, and this is our sp3 hybridized carbonyl carbon. Okay, so sp3 hybridized state is converted to sp3 hybridized state. Now okay, so this is the tetrahedral intermediate. This is our tetrahedral intermediate, which accepts a proton. Here you can observe O minus, oxygen carries negative charge. So this is neutralized by accepting a proton from the medium or from the reagent. Okay, so the proton transfer takes place. The proton transfer takes place to form a stable compound, the final compound. So this is how the nucleophilic addition reaction takes place. Clear? So this is how the nucleophilic addition reaction takes place, and this is the first step where the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon. This is the slow step and the rate determining step. Okay, so this is how the reaction takes place. Aldehydes and ketones both undergo nucleophilic addition reaction, but among aldehyde and ketone, which shows faster reaction, whose reactivity is more? Aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. For this, what are the reasons? There are two reasons why aldehydes are more reactive than the ketones. First reason is steric reason, and the second one is electronic reason. The second one is electronic reason. So what is meant by the steric reason? Steric reason and the so in carbonyl compounds, as you know, carbonyl group will be attached to two different groups. Here one side will be having alkyl group, on other side will be having hydrogen, then it is considered as aldehyde. If it is a ketone, then both the groups are alkyl groups. Correct? So both the alkyl groups will be connected to the carbonyl carbon. In this case, as I said, the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon. In this case, the hydrogen is a smaller atom compared to the alkyl group. Okay, so as the size of these groups attached to the carbonyl carbon varies, the reactivity also varies. If these are smaller groups, then easily the nucleophile comes and attacks. If I consider instead of R, if I have here HCHO, HCHO is an aldehyde, right? This is a formaldehyde. So if this is the case, when you compare the other aldehyde with the formaldehyde, as two atoms which are attached to the carbonyl carbon, both are smaller, the nucleophile comes and attacks the carbonyl carbon very easily. But in this case, as one of them is a bulkier group, the attack, the facility or the nucleophile comes and attacks this carbonyl carbon, but compared to here it will be difficult. Similarly, if you move to the ketone, both sides will be having bulkier groups, so there is a steric hindrance. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫೈಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಬೊನಿಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫಿಲಿಕ್ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ reactive in case of formaldehyde than in case of other aldehydes than the ketone. Okay, so reactivity follows this trend. As the alkyl group, as the size of the groups attached to the carbonyl carbon increases, reactivity decreases. That's why in case of aldehyde, as it is having one smaller hydrogen atom connected with the carbonyl carbon compared to the ketone, it is more reactive. As nucleophile easily attached, there is less steric hindrance. That's why it undergoes reaction at a faster rate. Easily the reaction takes place. This is first reason. The second reason is electronic reason. So why the nucleophile attacks carbonyl carbon? Oxygen being more electronegative withdraws electrons towards itself. Carbonyl carbon carries partial positive charge. So this becomes electron deficient. Electron density will reduce. Electron density carbonyl carbon ಮೇಲೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So carbonyl carbon ಮೇಲೆ electron density ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ this will be having it is electrophilicity. The character, the property is called as electrophilicity. So ಈ electrophilicity ಇಂದಾಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫೈಲ್ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So electron density is reduced. Electrophilicity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? The electron density on the carbonyl carbon is reduced. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ electron rich center ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Suppose if I have any such group which pushes electrons towards the carbonyl carbon, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, if any other group is present connected to the carbonyl carbon which is giving electron towards carbonyl carbon, then the density will remain as it is or it may increase compared to this. If I consider this one, see here, if this is the case, here we have hydrogen on both the sides. In another case, I will be having one alkyl group and one hydrogen. See, in this case I have two hydrogen atoms. The oxygen withdraws electron, gets partial negative charge. This will be partially positively charged. Now the hydrogens are not showing any inductive effect towards the carbonyl carbon. There is no pushing of electrons towards carbonyl carbon. So because of this electron shift, the electron density is decreased on the carbonyl carbon. It is electrophilic. So the nucleophile comes and attacks this carbonyl carbon. Whereas in the second case, in case of other aldehydes, what happens? Carbonyl carbon is attached to the alkyl group on one side, hydrogen on other side. So this one alkyl group, it is showing plus I effect. Correct? It is pushing electrons towards the carbonyl carbon. So here, obviously we will be having our polar structure. This is electronegative, this is electropositive. Electron density is already reduced because of this electron shift. So already reduced agide, and from this side the electrons are given to the carbonyl carbon. Ee thara iddaga electrophilicity is decreased compared to this electrophilicity. Electron density illiginta ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, carbonyl carbon ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. So electron density ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ whether it is easy to attack the nucleophile here? No. Electron already iddaga nucleophile also carries electron. So why attacks the carbonyl carbon? It will be difficult. Similarly, if I consider ketone which will be connected with two alkyl groups, so in this case both the groups will be showing plus I effect. So what happens to the electron density on carbonyl carbon? It further increases. Electron density ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Increase ಆದಾಗ whether the nucleophile attacks this carbonyl carbon easily? No. Right? So as the alkyl group increases, inductive effect is increased, which pushes electrons towards carbonyl carbon, which increases the electron density on carbonyl carbon, because of which electrophilicity of carbonyl carbon decreases. Electrophilicity ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ nucleophile is not attacking that carbonyl carbon. So reactivity ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ towards nucleophilic addition ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. What happens as the number of alkyl group increases? As the number of alkyl group increases, number of R group increases. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆವಾಗ number of R group increase ಆದರೆ there is an increase in the plus psi effect. In turn there is an increase in the plus psi effect. Plus psi effect increase ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The electron density on carbonyl carbon will be increased. Electron density on carbonyl carbon ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? Increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So at that time what happens? The attack of nucleophile will be difficult. Attack of nucleophile becomes difficult. So the reactivity reduces. ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಫೈಲ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗೋದು ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ that means the reactivity reduces. So as the number of alkyl group increases, plus psi effect increases, electrons are more pushed towards carbonyl carbon which is already electron deficient. So as electron density on carbonyl carbon increases because of plus psi effect, the nucleophile will not attack that easily to the carbonyl carbon. That reduces the reactivity of carbonyl compounds towards nucleophilic addition reaction. So these are the two reasons why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. In case of aldehyde, we will be having one smaller hydrogen atom. So there is less steric hindrance for the nucleophilic attack. And the second thing is, as there is only one alkyl group, the plus psi effect is less compared to the ketones. We have studied the mechanism, how the nucleophilic addition takes place and what is the reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Now let us see some examples for nucleophilic addition reactions. We will see some important nucleophilic addition reactions now. The first one is addition of HCN. HCN is hydrogen cyanide. So when aldehydes and ketones reacts with hydrogen cyanide, they give respective cyanohydrins. The formed products are called as cyanohydrins. And when we use HCN in the pure state, it is very slow reaction. To increase the rate of the reaction, we are using base as a catalyst. If we use pure HCN, if you use aldehyde, take a aldehyde and treat it with HCN, the reaction is very slow. So to increase the rate of the reaction, what we have to do? We have to use any base that will be acting as a catalyst so that Cn minus will be released very easily, and as Cn minus, cyanide is a very good nucleophile, very strong nucleophile, the addition takes place and we get our cyanohydrin. So how it takes place? See here, HCN, hydrogen cyanide, in presence of a base, it releases the nucleophile Cn minus and water is released. Okay, so this Cn minus is the nucleophile which attacks the carbonyl compound. So it may be aldehyde or a ketone. You can take R, R dash or RH, anything you can take. So when it is treated with Cn minus, so the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon. As oxygen takes up the pi electrons, gets the negative charge, and this will be positively charged. So the cyanide ion attacks the carbonyl carbon. There is a formation of a tetrahedral intermediate that we have seen in the mechanism, right? So when the nucleophile attacks, there is a formation of a tetrahedral intermediate. So the tetrahedral intermediate is of this manner. Cn attaches to the carbonyl carbon and will be having oxygen minus. So this is a tetrahedral intermediate formed in the reaction. This further takes up the proton from the medium. We will be having water in the reaction mixture itself. So that takes up, this intermediate takes up the proton from that medium and gives the stable compound. So we will be having cyanohydrin. This compound is considered as cyanohydrin. So this is how aldehydes and ketones reacts with hydrogen cyanide, gives cyanohydrin. For example, you can take any example here. You can write CH3H. You can write, okay, CH3CH acetaldehyde. When it is treated with HCN, there is a formation of acetyl cyanohydrine. Okay, so like this we get the product. Okay, so simply if you want to write the example, you can write it like this. CH3, COCH3. If I consider this as one example, what happens when it is treated with HCN in presence of OH minus, the product formed is CH3, COH, CN, CH3. Okay, so this is how we get the compound as a product. Okay, so the final product I have written, I didn't write the intermediate. Intermediate will be CH3, CO minus, CH3, CN. This will be the intermediate, which on further protonation results in the formation of the final compound. Okay, so this is the first reaction, addition of H. The next reaction is addition of sodium hydrogen sulfide, that is NaHSO3. So when a carbonyl compound, aldehydes and ketones reacts with sodium hydrogen sulfide, there is a formation of bisulfide addition product is formed, which will be unstable, which on again water treatment results in the formation of aldehyde. Okay, so first there is a formation of an intermediate. So intermediate form will be this manner. We are having O minus, as Na plus will be there, it connects with the sodium to form a sodium salt, and we will be having SO3H. So this is a intermediate form where further it is stabilized by the proton exchange. This is exchanged and we get the compound SO3Na. Bisulfide addition product is formed. Proton transfer, change of proton exchange takes place. H comes here to form OH and Na goes here. So this is how the addition product is formed when we treat sodium hydrogen sulfide with the carbonyl compound. And remember, here this is a bulkier group, so the aldehydes or ketones, most of the aldehydes are showing the reaction, but ketones, many ketones will not show, especially aromatic ketones will not undergo this kind of reaction, as there is a lot of steric hindrance. The addition will not take place so easily. Okay, so if there is a steric hindrance, the reaction is difficult with the sodium hydrogen sulfide. Okay, if the groups are small, then only the reaction takes place. Acetophenone will not undergo this particular reaction. Benzaldehyde undergoes the reaction, but acetophenone will not undergo this particular reaction. Remember this one. And the third reaction is addition of Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent is represented as RMGS. This we have already studied in the previous chapter, alcohols, phenols and ethers, which is one of the method for the preparation of alcohols. Okay, so where the carbonyl compounds are treated with Grignard reagent in ether medium results in the formation of an addition compound which further undergoes acid hydrolysis to form a stable alcohol. Depending upon the carbonyl group, we get primary, secondary or tertiary alcohols. So this is how the reaction takes place. This we have already studied. The carbonyl compound, as oxygen being more electronegative, negative charge will be there on oxygen. This will positively charge. In alkyl magnesium halide Grignard reagent, this is a nucleophile. This carbanion will be acting as a nucleophile which attacks the electron deficient carbonyl carbon to form an addition product which on acid hydrolysis results in the formation of respective alcohol. If I take here formaldehyde, then only I get here primary alcohol. If I take any other aldehyde, I get their secondary alcohol. If we take ketone, we will be getting the tertiary alcohol as a product. For formaldehyde, on treatment with Grignard reagent, if on reaction with Grignard reagent and followed by hydrolysis, it results in the formation of primary alcohol. If I take, instead of this aldehyde, if I take any other aldehyde, I get here secondary alcohol. If I take here other aldehydes with the same reagent and the condition, I get secondary alcohol. If it is a ketone treated with Grignard reagent followed by acid hydrolysis results in the formation of tertiary alcohol. So this reaction we have discussed already in detail in the alcohols chapter. The fourth example is addition of alcohols. So aldehydes reacts with monohydric alcohol which contains only one OH group. In dry HCl gas, it results in the formation of alkoxy alcohols which are called as hemiacetals. It is an intermediate which on further reacts with another molecule of alcohol to give geminal dialkoxy compound which is considered as acetal. So the reaction is the aldehydes are represented by RCHO. When aldehyde is reacted with alcohol, monohydric alcohol which contains only one OH group. So when it is treated with alcohol in dry HCl gas, in presence of dry HCl gas, there is a formation of, it's a reversible reaction, there is a formation of alkoxy alcohol, that is OR minus, that will be the nucleophile that is attacking the carbonyl carbon. So the product formed will be of this manner. Here we will be having alkoxy group is attached and other side will be having OH. So this is considered as hemiacetal compound. So this is the intermediate here which on further reaction with another molecule of alcohol results in the formation of dialkoxy. Here again this H is replaced by the alkyl group. So there is a formation of the dialkoxy compound which is considered as or which is known as acetal. Okay, this is hemiacetal and this compound, the final compound is called as acetal. So when aldehyde is treated with alcohol, monohydric alcohol, it results in the formation of hemiacetal which on further reaction with alcohol results in the formation of dialkoxy derivative which is called as acetal. The reaction takes place in presence of dry HCl gas. Okay, similarly what happens when it is treated with a ketone? If I take an example of a ketone here, when ketone is treated with ethylene glycol, it is a dihydric alcohol, in a dry HCl gas, there is a formation of a ketone. A ring compound is formed which is called as ketone. The loss of water. So like this, when aldehyde is treated with alcohol, usually there is a formation of hemiacetal in the first step and on further reaction gives acetal. When ketone is treated with alcohols, there is a formation of ketones. So these are some important nucleophilic addition reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so all the reactions are important for the examination. Go through all the reactions and practice well. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.